Good evening, and welcome to another Malkat Gin Review. And tonight we are doing Hayman's Old Tom. And why are we doing this?
Oh, this was a suggestion from Gin Joe 17, who kindly left a comment on one of our videos. Now, Gin Joe 17 used to do a gin blog. He's had a bit of a lifestyle change, and he now does videos on another topic. I think it's about diet and exercise and nutrition.
Kind of like the other extreme.
Yeah, but definitely from us. But yeah, he still watches gin review videos, and
So, hi.
So big shout out to Gin Joe 17, and thank you for the suggestion. And also, if you've been watching our videos and you have a suggestion for us, please do leave it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Probably the first question is, what is Old Tom? Bit of history. So when the English first brought distilled juniper to England, we ended up with the first gins. They eventually became known as Old Toms. Where the name came from was back in the 18th century. The public houses, especially in the back streets of London, were marked out by the sign of a black cat on the wall, an Old Tom. Now, at the time, the gin craze was taking off, and the British government decided to crack down on it by placing a tax on alcohol. To get around that, what the pubs started doing was they set up this little mechanism underneath the black cat sign, where you could walk up to the wall. There was a little slot, I think it was typically below the cat's paw, that you put your coin into, and then you put your glass under this tube, and the barman who was behind the wall would pour your gin into your glass, and hence you got your shot of Old Tom. So Old Tom's typically less refined than the modern London dry style, so it's sweeter and not usually as botanically. Hayman's has started a bit of a resurgence of Old Tom, and apparently some bartenders are enjoying using Old Tom in sort of some of the classic style cocktails.
Oh, you mean like a martini?
Like a Tom Collins.
Okay. So this one's described as true English Old Tom gin, and it's, as we said, it's Hayman's, and it's 41.4% ABV.
Hayman's Old Tom is made from their original recipe, which they started making in 1860, I believe, certainly in the 19th century. Enough talk, let's give it a whirl. So you're still getting the juniper hit on the nose, but it's less defined.
Less forward?
Yeah, less forward. So it's pretty much what I described. It's gin, but it's sweeter.
Oh, yeah. That is not what I expected. I expected this to be kind of harsh.
But it's not at all.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of, is it Univer?
Yeah.
Where we've had one before, and I just went, ooh, it's way too much like whiskey or mead to me, and not.
Because it's more like a schnapps.
Yeah, but this is quite yummy.
And this is why, when the British started drinking gin, they drank it straight.
I don't know how this is going to go with our normal Schweppes, because we use standard old English Schweppes as our baseline tonic, because we know what to expect, and it gives us a baseline for everything we try.
Yeah, it does. But then you've got an old style gin with an old style tonic.
Schweppes do I think is it 1817 or 79,
oh yeah, especially it's slightly drier.
Edition. Yeah, and I wonder whether it might be a better mix.
It might be. I think we've agreed that you could quite easily just sit that straight.
You could. Totes amazeballs.
As I said, the English used to.
Yes, and this is how you ended up with Mother's Ruin, which is also another a Wellington gin, which you must try in our blog. Yeah, I think we might need some more on that.
We might. See, this is interesting. So some people might think that Schweppes tonic's quite sweet, but in this instance, the tonic's actually drier than the gin, so that actually tones it down a little bit. I think it still works.
I definitely think it's sweet.
Mm.
And I'm getting a bit more of that citrus, and it feels
Yeah.
like the citrus is also bringing the sweetness.
Yeah.
If that's even a thing. But totally not what I expected.
I think drink it straight. It still works as a gin and tonic, but I think it might be worth playing around with a few of the old style cocktails and seeing if it works in a cocktail.
Yes, well, Gin Joe 17 did suggest he wanted to see us do a cocktail.
Okay.
He also wanted us to try Old Tom. It would be awesome if Gin Joe 17 or somebody else who watches us could suggest what cocktail they'd like to see us make with this Old Tom. Might even be Hayman's. Hayman's, shout out to you. You made it. You tell us. What should we make?
What's the best cocktail to use your Old Tom in? Sounds like a whole new video.
Yeah, and I think now we actually need to go back upstairs and feed our little
beastie who's running around making noise in the background.
Yeah, not a Tom, but she is a beast.
And on that note, gin is the winners.